Hello, welcome to Real Film Snobs. I'm Brian Michael.
And I'm Angela Yeager. We have a special episode for you this week. This is our annual Real Film Snobs Picks the Oscars. This is where Brian and I give you the rundown on some of the major Oscar nominees this year in the major categories and give you our picks on who we think should win, who we think will win, unfortunately or not, and who we think was snubbed and should have been nominated. And this has, of course, been a very interesting year for the Oscars, so there are a lot of nominees and a lot of films to go through. So we'll just jump right into it with the first category, which is Best Supporting Actress. And the nominees are Emma Stone for The Favorite, Rachel Weisz for The Favorite, Marina de Tavira for Roma, Regina King, If Beale Street Could Talk, and Amy Adams for Vice. We'll see if the robot that hosts the Oscars this year can read it that well. So first of all, our first category is Who Was Snubbed? So this is actually, always a big category that's always got lots of potential. So my two picks for who was snubbed in this category, number one is Claire Foy for First Man. First Man was not a 4-star movie, but Claire Foy, I thought was the best thing about that movie. And I actually, when I saw that performance, I think when we reviewed it on the show, we could probably even roll back and look at it. I'm pretty sure we said this performance will get nominated. So that was a huge diss this year. And also Emily Blunt for A Quiet Place, which I'm not sure if that's a lead or a supporting actress. She was apparently submitted for supporting for this category. And while A Quiet Place wasn't my favorite horror film of the year, her performance was amazing. And she has a scene in a bathtub that was one of the best scenes I saw in film all year. And I also think Emily Blunt just hasn't, deserves a nomination in general.
Yeah,
so.
She also floated out of the sky with an umbrella at the end of the year, and that kind of hurt her chances, I would think. But I do love Emily Blunt in pretty much anything she does. I won't see Mary Poppins. For my snub, the one that should have been nominated, any of the supporting actresses and Widows. I thought all of them.
That's a hard one though. Which one's supporting? Any of them except for Viola Davis?
Viola Davis, yeah.
She's
Viola Davis is the lead,
okay.
and everyone else is supporting. I absolutely loved every performance in that. And I thought, gosh, who do I narrow it down to? No, any of them. If any of them had been nominated, I'd have been totally happy.
Yeah, I would have been
with
too.
This one.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I wasn't able to pick just one, and I didn't decide not to cheat like
well,
you.
You picked two.
Well,
I
we
picked
can't
5.
pick more than one?
Oh, well, then that's not cheating.
Okay. Is that your only one for snubbed? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, who should win? Out of the nominees, my pick is Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk. This is one of the only nominations that If Beale Street Could Talk got. Yeah. So, of course, because it's one of my favorite films of 2018, and Regina King is amazing in the movie as the matriarch of the family. She's a longtime actress in Hollywood who has not gotten her dues, and so this would be a great to see her win and maybe kind of give her a film career a bit of resurgence. Yeah, she's been on TV quite a bit.
So now you got to be really careful about the way you're saying things there, because you're thinking, well, because this is the only part that was nominated, I really love this film, so this should be the one. You complain a lot about the Oscars, we all do, and that's some of that voting is, well, I'll give it this one instead of that. Just pick the best of the one of them.
Well,
of the nominees.
I did also really
like her. And
she
is the best. Yes. I think she is absolutely the best.
Oh, so she's your pick as well.
She is my pick. She really should win. I love this film. She is she's part of the heart and soul of any of the actors in this film, but her scenes in the opening where she sits down and they break the news, when she's literally handling her husband and controlling the situation and pouring the drinks, it's just beautiful. It's absolutely magical. There's no special effects other than just an amazing actress.
Now the next one, who will win? I had a bit of trouble with this one. I went back and forth, but I'm going with Amy Adams for Vice. And the reason I'm going for Amy Adams for Vice is that I don't think it's a great Amy Adams performance. I liked Vice, the movie. I thought her performance, though, was probably one of the least interesting Amy Adams performances I've seen in a long time. And that's why I think she'll actually win, is because I think it's a makeup award for all the great performances she's done in recent years that she didn't either get nominated at all or win for.
She usually has 2 strong performances in the year, and they zero each other out. There was Nocturnal Animals, there was The Arrival. I mean, she's had that happen several times.
So many films.
And what's really disappointing is, and I did enjoy Vice, is that the character that she is playing actually is a very strong character, and I actually say that she's the motor behind him. And so I just feel like she was given quite enough other than some of the few things that she gave a little bit of speech there. I'm hoping Regina King wins this. That's kind of who I'm leaning towards because
you're thinking
it's
she
gonna be
will
one of those,
win too.
Yeah, I'm thinking that she will win because it's going to be because Amy Adams has done so much better. I can't help but the really good feel good as Regina King. Here's someone who was way back in 227 when I was a kid. I've grown up right along with her, and I've seen her career every step of the way, and she's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And I would love to see her up there getting that award. That would be
I agree.
Awesome. That's the one
and
I
really
do
want
cheer
Amy
for.
Adams to win someday, but I just want her to win for one of her many great performances. I'm sure she still has left in her.
Oh, yeah.
So our next category is Best Supporting Actor, and the nominees are Mahershala Ali for Green Book, Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me, Adam Driver for Black Klansman, Sam Elliott for A Star Is Born, and Sam Rockwell for Vice. So first of all, who was snubbed? Oh, there's some big ones in this one, in my opinion. Michael B. Jordan for Black Panther is my first. I actually have two. I'm cheating again. Michael B. Jordan for Black Panther.
The superhero movie. The superhero movie?
Yes.
Let's make that clear. That's a superhero movie.
But Michael B. Jordan's performance made this movie for me. He is so phenomenal. He's a supporting actor who basically almost carried the movie on his shoulders, and you don't say that every day. He's also just a phenomenal talent who deserves to be recognized. But he really, I don't think Black Panther would have been half the movie it was if it wasn't for his performance. He had some of the greatest scenes in film in his scenes. My second pick is Daniel Kaluuya for Widows. He, of course, is the star of the movie Get Out from the previous year, but he plays a great villain. And usually they like villains. There aren't any this year. Well, unless you count Sam Rockwell's character in Vice. But you know, he plays a great villain in Widows. There isn't a scene in this kind of gymnasium area that he says so little and just does with his eyes, and he is just completely amazing, and really what a supporting actor should do. You know, it's not a huge part, but he makes an impact every moment he's on the screen.
He's a Black Panther too. Mine was Rafael Casal.
Oh, yes, from Blindspotting.
Very good.
Now, is that supporting?
Points for everybody.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess that is.
No, he was the support. Yeah, he was the friend that kind of
he's
propels
the
whole story, and I really loved that character. And I think Blindspotting was a film that was. I don't know how this film got lost, but somehow it did. And whenever I think back to it, I certainly there's a lot of things that I love about it. But his performance as that friend that you love, but then you start to realize he is not good for you, and that becomes the big part of the film, is where he's got to separate himself from this friend who's, even though he loves him, it's a toxic relationship, and he gets him into trouble, and he's just got to go.
Yeah.
And at that party where things just explode, it's so incredibly good.
Yeah.
And his performance has really stuck with me when I was thinking about this one, and that's who I picked.
So our next is Who Should Win for Best Supporting Actor, and this was actually tough for me, partially because I think this is one of the weakest categories this year, and just in terms of a lot of these actors are good actors, but I don't think these performances. Sam Elliott in A Star Is Born, nah. I didn't think he was. I've seen Sam Elliott do a lot better. I thought he was pretty forgettable.
I thought he was the weakest part of the film.
You thought he was the weakest part. I thought, I was talking to our friend Kara, and she said, I actually forgot he was in the movie. Yeah. That would be the opposite of Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther or Daniel Kaluuya in Widows. So my pick is Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me? It's one of my favorite films out of this. Well, it is my favorite film in this category. It's one of the only films, period, that I not gave 4 stars to. And Richard E. Grant is an actor, again, another one who hasn't done much in a while on the big screen, and his character, he comes alive. He's the showy best friend to Melissa McCarthy's more dour character, but he's absolutely phenomenal in the movie.
Well, I chose let's just get the wrong movie out of the way, and let's get into Adam Driver, because he's going to win one eventually anyway. I think he's probably one of the most talented. He's one of the most talented actors of his generation. I always look forward to what he's doing, even in those Star Wars films. I really enjoy his acting, and I liked him in this film. It isn't one of his best performances, but might as well just award him for the wrong film. Let's just get it out of the way. He's gonna win one down the road.
Would you agree this is a weak category though? It's just it's surprising how. And then finally, who will win? And my pick for this is Mahershala Ali for Green Book, and I think that.
Think so?
Yeah, I know you just said actually before we started taping that you thought his award in Moonlight will be the only one, but I think he's going to win. I think he's going to win for this one. I can't imagine them awarding Sam Rockwell for Vice. I'm actually surprised he's nominated for his performance as George
Yeah.
W. It's not a great performance. If I had to
Yeah.
pick out of supporting for that movie, it would have been Steve Carell. I thought Steve Carell
Yeah,
as Rumsfeld
actually,
was
it's really
brilliant. I thought Steve Carell as Rumsfeld
Yeah.
was so much better. And I like Sam Rockwell, as you know, but I didn't think his impersonation of W was that great.
So Sam Elliott's probably going to win it because I think there's going to be some people out there that's going to feel bad that Star is Born kind of was supposed to be this big, huge front runner, and all of a sudden I got snubbed on a few things. So I think that he's going to be
Well,
the
and
one
he
that's
is
gonna
the
go out there
old
and win it.
timer
Yeah.
part of it. Yeah. Okay.
He's a great actor. This role just didn't
was
work
not.
for me.
That wasn't his best performance.
Yeah. He's usually I mean, even in oh no, I'm blanking on the movie. Oh, I'll get back to it.
Okay.
So let's go to Best Actor, the category, and the nominees are Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born, Christian Bale for Vice. There's Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, Viggo Mortensen for Green Book, and Willem Dafoe for Eternity's Gate. For the snubbed, Ethan Hawke.
Oh yeah.
My God,
Big
we
time.
talked about him all year
Yeah.
long. That this was going to be his big breakthrough. He's going to get nominated. He's going to win it. Everyone that I know has seen this film, whether they felt indifferent about that ending, loved it and thought it was fantastic.
And
Thought
it's his best.
performance,
It's a career best
the
performance.
wrinkle, and supporting actor would be the wrinkle between his two brows is absolutely amazing in this film. You could just watch it. I want to see the spinoff or the sequel with just the wrinkle there. How did that not happen?
I don't know. I don't know if they just didn't do a good enough campaign for this movie. I have a hard time believing that because A24, the studio that put it out, usually does great marketing. And everyone, you know,
been all on
especially in
streaming
film
for a
Twitter,
while.
was talking about Ethan Hawke all year. And it's been a great lead up. He's been building his career. He played Chet Baker. He was in Maudie. He's been turning in really interesting, good performances. And this was sort of like a build up to. So he'll probably win in a couple years for another movie that isn't very good. So he was also my pick for snubbed, in addition to Joaquin Phoenix for You Were Never Really Here, which is one of my favorite films of the year. And I thought, and that's saying a lot for Joaquin Phoenix, one of his best performances. So either one of them I would have been happy to see nominated, but especially Ethan Hawke, of course.
And then for who should win, I picked Willem Dafoe because he should have won last year.
For Florida Project.
Florida Project. Gosh darn it.
supporting.
I love Willem Dafoe, and I love anything that he's in, and it was a pleasure watching this film because he's on the screen every moment, every second of it, and I can seriously just watch him drink a cup of coffee, quite honestly. I think it was a fine performance. I think it works on all kinds of levels. It was a fine performance. It's a nice career capper. It's a nice way to give him some recognition, and yeah. I think that when
And I also have Willem Dafoe, although Christian Bale would be a close second for me. I thought he was very good in Vice.
See, I think Christian Bale's gonna win because he's got the most makeup. Or no, lack of most makeup. He put on a lot of the weight, and so I think that's sometimes.
So that's
who
who will win?
I think that's who's gonna win. Yeah,
Christian Bale. You know, I went back and forth, but I'm actually going to go with Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody. Because he's been cleaning up at the other awards shows, but I think it's also that movie's probably best chance of winning something because it's obviously not going to win director, wasn't nominated. So
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. But I think that could be like a crowd pleasing favorite, so that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Plus Christian Bale's won before.
It's such a weak movie, but he is very, very good. He had the speaking voice down cold. I was really impressed.
Some people
with
said that they weren't so crazy about the teeth, though. Anyway, so
well,
that's the
Freddie
only one of the
Mercury-
nominees I haven't
Freddie
seen.
Mercury did not have great teeth.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll move on to our next category, which is Best Actress. And for this one, we have Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Glenn Close for The Wife, Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born, Yalitza Aparicio for Roma, and Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me? So who was snubbed? Well, I had to have more than one on this because a lot of
Good
people were.
heavens,
I
I was
know.
told one, Angela.
I know. Well, I cheated.
Speak to the producer.
Okay, I have three women who were, because this category should have been very strong. We have Toni Collette for Hereditary, one of the great performances of the year. Not the greatest movie, but another one, Elsie Fisher for 8th Grade. Huge snub. Yes, she's very young, but the whole movie is built around her, and it's a great film. And my third pick is Sakura Ando from Shoplifters as the maternal figure of the group of shoplifters in that movie.
She would have never been nominated. It's a foreign language film that rarely ever happens. I would
know.
totally agree with that. I would love to have seen her.
It did happen
win
for Roma,
to get
though,
that.
so that would have been
I had Elsie Fisher from 8th Grade as well. I thought her performance was absolutely fantastic. She's a young star here in the making, and I really look forward to seeing anything else that she's going to be in. But that was such an incredible performance. And can we say it's a brave performance? Because when I watched it, sometimes I had to look through between my fingers and go, "Oh
The
God."
swimming pool, I think that's pretty brave. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And letting yourself be
It's so
photographed up
bad.
close with all your pimples showing.
Oh gosh.
So the who should win?
Yeah.
For me, out of this category, it's Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me, which some people might be surprised by. I actually enjoyed many of the performances in this film, but for me, this movie, I loved this movie, and I thought it was one of Melissa McCarthy's best performances. And she didn't do the thing people do when comedians go totally dramatic. She didn't. The film still has a lot of humor and pathos, which I liked, but it's a very much darker role than we're used to seeing her in a movie like Spy, for instance. And she's just so phenomenal in it, and she really kind of broke my heart. So.
So I think Who Should Win would be Olivia Colman. I really enjoyed her performance. I thought she was actually the center of that film, and she was extremely funny and had to work with two bookend actresses that were very, very powerful and could really steal the scenes from her if she wasn't just as good or even better. So I absolutely loved her performance there. Who will win, Angela?
I'm going with, and Olivia Colman has been a favorite for the favorite, but I'm going with Glenn Close. I think it's going to be Glenn Close for The Wife, which I know you did not enjoy that movie. And I didn't enjoy it a lot either, but I think this is going to be another one. Like
so
Sam Elliott.
bad.
Like Sam Elliott. I think it's going to be another one. Like, has Glenn Close ever won before?
No, she's been nominated 6 times.
There you go. Well. And this is a big lead role, and it's about women being overlooked. So thematically, it fits in with.
She gets to do lots of thoughts where she's sitting there, she's being overlooked by this horrible man that no one would want to be married to. Yeah, she's who I picked who's going to win. And I'm just going to cheer because she should have won for Dangerous Liaisons, or The World According to Garp, or even
Albert
Fatal
Nobbs.
Attraction, or Albert Nobbs. I mean, there's so many
Lots
good
of great
performances
she
from
could have been
her.
nominated
I love
for.
her and I adore her, but this movie was just, I still don't I thought it was nominated for Best Picture, so I'm still mad about that, though that it wasn't.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
I keep thinking it is. It just feels like it would be one of those movies they would throw in there. She's done so much better, but she deserves the Academy Award. Julianne Moore didn't deserve it for the movie, or shouldn't have won it for the one that she did. She should have won it for other films, but that's fine. Best Director, we have Alfonso Cuarón for Roma. We have Spike Lee for Black Klansman. We have Adam McKay for Vice. We have, Yorgos Lanthimos for The Favorite. We have Pavel Palawansky for Cold War. And who would I feel was snubbed? Oh, come on. Barry Jenkins was totally snubbed for having just an amazing film, If Beale Street Could Speak or Could Talk. Just an absolutely visual marvel of this film. Every single scene in this film I thought was just absolutely amazing. It is such a director's vision. It is such a director's film. And it was so great to see because it really solidified, because I really feared that Moonlight was going to be a one-hit wonder. And I thought, oh, geez. And so with this one, I was like, nope, this guy knows what he's doing. He's definitely got a vision. And I absolutely
solidified
love
his status.
style.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think, and it was interesting. We were just talking about Damien Chazelle and First Man, Barry Jenkins. They were up against each other a couple of years ago for La La Land and Moonlight. They seemed to be like the young up-and-comers, the shining stars, and then they were both snubbed this year, which is very interesting. Yeah, I also had Barry Jenkins. If Beale Street Could Talk is easily one of the best films of 2018. And it was definitely a passion project for Barry Jenkins that he saw through from beginning to end. He'd been working on it actually before even Moonlight, and so it's another one. If I had to add in another one, because I do,
of course,
Steve
you
McQueen,
can't pick just one. Yeah.
Steve McQueen for Widows, another film.
The action movie.
That's directed beautifully
I know.
from start
I'm
to
just
finish.
saying.
So.
Now, who should win will be Alfonso. Of the nominees, will be Alfonso Cuarón. I think is absolutely. Roma is another one of those films it's totally a director's picture. You really get to see a glimpse into his past. It's absolutely a beautiful film, and it just moves so lyrically without ever drawing attention to what it's saying. It's just up there. You got to pay attention.
Yes. Yes, and it is a directed film. I mean, this is a film that's got the director's imprint all over it, sort of like Barry Jenkins and If Beale Street Could Talk. I'm having a hard time letting that go. So Alfonso, I think, should win. And yeah, I think that there's some, strong direction here. I don't know about Adam McKay for Vice. That's
I like his style though. No, this is the second drama
it's just
that
like
he's
The
done.
Big Short. It's
yeah,
very
well, that's his
similar.
style. So is Beale Street with Moonlight, and I like that. He kind of. But now I'm like, oh, I see a rhythm here. But what's interesting is that his comedies are completely different. They have their own rhythm, and now he's doing drama in its own style. He's got two different styles. This is like Werner Herzog, territory where he's got his dramatic films and his
Whoa,
and his
you just compared
documentaries.
Adam McKay to
I
Werner
did.
Herzog.
How many people have two different
My
styles?
mind is blown.
That's pretty impressive.
Adam
who else
McKay
would you,
and Werner Herzog?
Who would you compare it to, though? Who has two different styles?
I don't know that he
Spielberg
actually
movie.
has two
when you
different
watch
styles.
a Spielberg
He
movie, you
has-
see a Spielberg movie. You see a Scorsese film. You see Hitchcock. You know who it is. He's got two different styles. That's pretty impressive. And a darn good writer. I'm really impressed with his writing.
I thought,
especially with
I
his
liked Vice,
adaptations.
but I felt very similar to Big Short.
Sure.
And so I don't think Beale Street felt similar to Moonlight. It's a completely
No, there was a lot of that close-ups where you see the reaction shots, a lot of
but
slow
the story
motion.
was
It's
totally
beautiful.
different.
Still.
Vice was similar in that it was a political comedy drama
Yeah.
where it sits down and it explains the politics to you. It was done
Sure.
in a very similar style throughout.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same thing as saying
It's like
oh,
a Michael Moore movie, but it's actually.
I mean, that's like saying all of Altman's were
instead
the
of
same because he used the zoom lens. I mean, that's not the zoom.
But you would see his Altman film, and you would know his films because they're all done the same way.
That's because he was not.
He didn't have
sure.
two different. Didn't have two different styles. It's pretty interesting. Just hold your beer on this one, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, it's very interesting. So who will win? Will be Alfonso Cuarón, I believe, will win.
I
this
believe
one.
he will,
I mean,
too.
hopefully they'll pronounce his name better than I do. But
I
yeah,
do,
I
and
think
they love him. Did he win for Gravity? I think he's won before for director, has he not? Was it
Yeah,
for
it
Gravity?
wasn't
You
for
always
Children of
remember.
Men, but it was
or
for-
Children
for-
of Men.
yeah.
But I mean, he's made so many good movies that it's hard for me to fault him, because Y Tu Mamá También, Children of Men, Gravity. I mean, he made me like an outer space movie, not usually my favorite genre. Of course, it was sort of an anti-outer space movie, my favorite kind. And he made me like a movie with Sandra Bullock in it, which is even more an amazing feat.
Pretty impressive.
Because I usually don't like her in movies. So, yes, Alfonso definitely for the win, I would say. So, we've got quite a bit of time left, so we can chat on this one for a while.
We?
Yes,
Oh,
we
good.
do. So, Best Picture. Somehow we sped up there. Best Picture. This is the big one. This year, they have 8 nominees. They can nominate 10. They could have thrown Beale Street in there, just saying. So the 8 nominees in alphabetical order: Black Klansman, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, A Star is Born, and Vice. And that's exactly how I would read it if I was the Oscars.
So these are the people. This is all the movies that have been on the other side of the border of. Never mind.
So these are the nominees for Best Picture. So who was snubbed? Well, obviously, my first pick is If Beale Street Could Talk.
Oh, soccer.
Yeah, I haven't talked enough about that one, right? I mean, there's a lot of snubs this year because honestly, 2018, I went through recently and looked at the last 5 years of our show and how many films I gave 4 stars to. 2018 was a phenomenal year for movie lovers, but you wouldn't see it reflected on these 8 movies for the most part that were
Or
nominated
good,
for Best
or
Picture.
very good, or a little divisive. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
pretty much what we've got there. We don't have any, there's a couple, there's a very classic maybe, perhaps. But yeah, for the most part, it's kind of an interesting, and some of those filmmakers,
One
I'm like,
of
well,
those films got 4 stars for me. That's
well,
it.
and like The Favorite, I'm like, which I really enjoyed, but his previous 2 films, if they were nominated for Best Picture, I would have been so happy. I would have been the happiest.
Yeah, if
happiest
The Lobster was
ever.
nominated for
Oh
Best
my
Picture, that would have been pretty
I-
crazy.
I would have been so pleased.
It would have been really funny to
I
see
would have
all those people that
exploded.
only go to see Oscar movies lining up for
Yes.
that and then walking out of the theater
No,
going,
you're not
what
going
did
there.
I
I'm
say?"
going Sacred Deer. And people
Oh.
would just flip. I mean, you want to talk about riots in the streets? That would have been awesome. I would have loved that.
They
So
would have
I'm
said, "The
happy
Academy
he's-
lost their
I'm
mind."
happy that he's getting some attention. That certainly will propel so that he could. It's show business. It's not show art. So this is going to be able to allow him to make his next couple of films because everyone knows that if you're a male director, you can make you can take twice, and you can still make another
3
movie.
or 4 times in
Yeah.
some cases.
So this will help propel his
If you're
career.
a
and I'm
female
happy with
director,
that.
you get 0 to 1
Adam
times.
McKay, of course, I've been a big fan for a really long time, so I'm happy to see him get some notice, and so this, that'll keep propelling his career forward there. Who else is nominated? Black Panther, of course. Hey, is that a superhero movie? That's a
Black
superhero
Panther,
movie.
yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
But another
One of the
another
better
wonderful
superhero
but
movies,
another
but-
great filmmaker, and again, that made it some money. He didn't need the nomination. Certainly didn't need the nomination.
This
But again,
was-
that's going to
so
push
a
his
lot of
career
these
forward.
nominees are a result of the Academy this year talked about doing a most popular film category, and it got huge backlash. So they took it away, and I feel like some of these films which are box office wins. Black Panther was a big box office hit. Bohemian Rhapsody. Black Klansman was actually the biggest hit of Spike Lee's career. We're as a result of the fact that there's this push to get bigger box office movies.
Spike Lee getting nominated,
Star is Born.
especially after this year, there were so many films that I saw, with Bill Street Can Talk and Blind Spotting, and that really were Spike Lee films. I mean, you could see that, they kind of come from his stream of thought and certainly were influenced by him. And so I'm really happy to see him as one of his films finally getting recognized. It's not one of my favorite, but hey,
I gave it 3.5 stars. I really liked it.
I liked it, but it's not one of his.
But at least with some financial oomph, he'll be able to make some other
exactly.
movies.
See there, then again, we get to see that. So there's the positive pull from that Spike Lee gets to make another couple of films.
Aren't you Miss Pollyanna today?
Well, I'm always the glass half full. You're the half empty.
Okay, but the other one I would say who was snubbed, I have a big list here. I won't read all of them. Because a lot of these we know wouldn't have been nominated anyway.
8th grade would not have been nominated. That's on your list.
And Blind Spotting. But Widows,
wait a minute. 8th grade with Lady Bird last year, why wouldn't have 8th grade been nominated this year? That big.
It didn't have the campaign like that, I guess. I don't know. But Widows, if it had done better financially, you have an art house director who makes an action movie with an amazing cast. Liam Neeson's in it, for crying out loud.
We don't talk about Liam Neeson
I know we shouldn't, but I'm so but when the movie came out, he was still, I know he's kind of on the down right now, but I mean, Viola Davis, an all-female cast in the Me Too year. I mean, and it's a perfectly executed movie, well written, and it just nothing. It tanked. I baffled. So anyway, that was who was snubbed to me. Who do you have?
No, I had 8th grade. I just picked the one.
Oh, okay. Who should win? Out of these nominees, Roma. Roma's the only film on this list that I gave 4 stars to, and that probably will make my top 10 list. So, and it definitely should win for Best Picture.
I certainly have the same thing as well. It's a film that of all of them, that's what I have ranked highest for my film.
Yeah.
List.
So here's the big question. Who will win Best Picture this year? I am guessing Green Book. You don't think so?
No.
It won the Golden Globe for Best Picture.
Yeah.
And I think that the Academy voting audience of mostly older white people will pick this movie. They'll think it will unite people. That's my guess.
I'm going Roma.
You're going Roma for Best Picture?
Yep.
You think a black and white foreign language film is going to win. I think they're going to split
wouldn't
it.
That'd be awesome.
You're dreaming. You're dreaming.
It's so good.
This is going to be a year they're going to split. They're going to go, Alfonso should be happy.
Over
here with his director. He got director. We're going to give the popular movie that more than 5 people watched. And the other thing is...
But it's not going to win any other ones.
The other thing is Roma's put out by that company, the Red Envelope Company, thou shall will not be named. But, there's going to be this backlash of like the theater people. They're like not going to want to reward one of their movies. I really feel they're going to go with a movie that was traditionally released. So Roma's really who you think is going to win?
I don't know. Sure.
Okay. So we'll wrap up. So those are our Oscar picks. We're going to be posting those on our website at realfilmsnobs.com, and you can weigh in on Facebook or Twitter and let us know if you agree or disagree with the Snobs picks. If we had a chance, I would have loved to talk about documentary and foreign language film because those are some great categories this year. But like the Academy, we only care about the major nominees.
Shoplifters. Just see Shoplifters.
See Shoplifters and Roma. So as always, go to our subscribe to us on YouTube. You can find out when we have new episodes posted if you just hit on that little bell. You can, as I mentioned, we're on Facebook and Twitter. You can also listen to us on KMUZ Radio. You can also find us on the air, not only here on CCTV in Salem, but in Corvallis and Salem. I'd like to thank our wonderful sponsors, our amazing crew. Have a great day and great movies.